It's the Mustang Insider Show presented by Cal Portland, the largest building materials company of cement and construction material products on the West Coast. Now, here's Chris Sylvester, the voice of the Mustangs.
Welcome to another edition of the Mustang Insider presented by Cal Portland. Kind of hard to believe we're already in the month of May. It just felt like yesterday where we were getting some Cal Poly sports back in late November. Luckily, everybody in the spring season has been able to avoid the majority of any type of cancellations or postponements, COVID related. I think that's just the sign of the times. Things are becoming more normal. And May has kind of been a championship themed month for Cal Poly. Have the beach volleyball team heading off to Alabama to participate in the postseason tournament there after capturing the Big West title. And you can't forget about women's golf. The 2021 Big West champions head coach Sophie Agard joins us now, and she's at the beautiful new Mustang Golf Academy complex at Dairy Creek, just up the one in San Luis Obispo. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time to join us. I'm so jealous that you're out there right now. It looks like a beautiful day. It's a beautiful course, beautiful facility. I'm stuck inside. You can't see where I am because I got this awesome virtual background, but I mean, man, that's got to be one of the top facilities in all of college golf.
Well, thank you for having me today. Super exciting, everything that you just mentioned that has happened, with Cal Poly sports this spring. And then, whoops, the camera fell down here. We're learned by doing.
Learn by doing. Isn't that our? Yeah. That's our slogan, right?
That is our motto for Cal Poly. Yeah, but thanks for having me. And like you said, super exciting times for everyone with all the successes in the sports. And then also, like as you said, our Mustang Golf Academy just opened up. We've been enjoying the new building, the new facility here over the last couple of weeks. So there are great times ahead for the golf program at Cal Poly.
Oh, great times ahead, but great times now as well. I mentioned you guys are the 2021 Big West champions, headed to the Stanford Regional next week, May 10th through the 12th up north. It's the second time that you've taken the program to the postseason. Sum up the season, if you could, the challenges of just kind of getting back out on the course and being able to complete this season and have all the success that you guys have had.
Yeah, this 2020-21 season has been nothing short but a miracle in a sense, I think, because we didn't get to compete at the conference last year, which was a real bummer because we had a really strong team. Fortunately, we carried on our lineup into this new season, and then we did not compete in the fall. We had lots of team practice here locally, which we were really fortunate to do. Lots of schools didn't even have that. And then when we got into the winter spring quarter here, or seasons, knowing that we didn't compete in the fall at all, I added extra tournaments, thinking that we were ready for it, but then also kind of as a backup should some tournaments not go through because of COVID. We ended up playing all of them.
Wow.
And also it went well because we had solid performances in most all of them. And of course it prepared us well for conference, and we had a great performance in a conference too.
Well, I'm happy we're able to catch up right now because there's a lot going on with your program, not only with winning the Big West Championship and getting to the postseason, but obviously we're talking about the Mustang Golf Academy as well. That just opened up less than a month ago. And I think a lot of locals are familiar with Dairy Creek, whether it be going to Top Tracer and golfing and having a cold one and having some food as well, or just getting out there on the course and having a full day of golf. We're going to touch on that momentarily, but you mentioned bringing back your lineup from 2019, 2020, and we had a couple of conversations on this show during the peak of the pandemic, I guess, when everything was completely shut down. And you were talking about how you were happy that everybody got that year of eligibility back, but you were really hoping that everybody would stick around and that they would have the same success that you thought they might have last year if you were able to have a full season. Caroline Cantlay, Nicole Neal, Elizabeth Schultes, Vanessa Wang, just a number of players that have been successful with your group this year. Talk about this group and kind of, the chemistry. I know that what they're doing from an individual standpoint has been impressive, but it kind of seems like this year was extra special knowing that they had to wait all that extra time to actually get out there and accomplish what they wound up accomplishing.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by my student athletes, and I'm to go back to. I'm very happy that they stayed on. So I guess I recruited people who really love Cal Poly and our program. So I'm fortunate to have had them stay on. And then I will say just their determinant passion for their teammates and their team and the competition, and for sticking in all fall competing, and through all the COVID regulations and rules that we've had, and everything, forms to submit and tests to take, around that, for them to stay persistent through it. Just a huge thumbs up to all of them for it. And I think too, the team has grown through this because we're in the same boat together, right? If we had, a test result that we didn't like, or whatever it was that we were going through, we were in the same boat for it. So I think they really grew together, and I can't say enough about their just commitment to the program and their team.
Sophie Agard, head coach of the Cal Poly women's golf program, is joining us here on the Mustang Insider. Second time in program history that you guys have captured the Big West Women's Golf Championship. You did it back in 2017. You won the championship this year down south in Orange County at the Yorba Linda Country Club. This program started back in 2001, and you had an interesting collegiate journey. You're from Sweden originally, and you started in the SEC at Mississippi State. That's where you golfed your freshman year, and then you came out here to California, up north at Berkeley. You played at Cal for 3 years. You were a three-time All-American. I want to talk a little bit about what got you into coaching in the first place. Like, at what point did you figure that you wanted to return to the college golf scene and become a head coach? I know you were an assistant at Cal before you took the head coach job at Cal Poly, but how can maybe some of your successful experiences as a college golfer kind of help some of these girls out that are on your roster this year?
Yeah, looking back, it is an interesting story. My background coming all the way from Sweden and then to play college golf in the U.S. And the shortcut, or what do we call it, shortcut, but long story short, to make it into coaching, I think it is because I had a great experience in my college career, and I had a great experience as an amateur golfer with great coaches in Sweden as well when I was with the national team. And I think if I did not have good coaching, I probably would not turn to a coach myself. After I graduated, I never thought I would ever either coach or instruct golf. It was not just my thing. I thought I didn't have patience to teach others what to do and how to do things. But when I ended up stopping my competitive golf myself, the first person to reach out with an opportunity post competitive golf was my former coach at Cal, up at Cal at Berkeley. And she said, "You know what? My assistant just took a job somewhere else. I have an open chair, and I would love for you to come try it out." So I was like, well, what else am I going to do? So, and knowing Coach Nancy McDaniel, what she's all about, and how she runs her program, of course, and she's always been a mentor since the college years for me. And I was like, if I wanted to try somewhere, then that would be the place to do it. And I loved it. I did not realize I was going to love it and enjoy it as much as I did. The reward when someone so-called gets it, when you're teaching something new or you're coaching someone, and there's like a breakthrough in the development of the personal arena or the golf arena, is just so enjoyable for me as a coach. So I think, having had great coaching myself brought me into this arena, and then wanting to just make an impact, have a positive impact in someone's life.
Well, you've had a positive impact on a number of lives during your time at Cal Poly, especially with the program. We mentioned 2021. It's the second Big West Championship under your tutelage at Cal Poly. 2017, you won the Big West Championship and you went to the Albuquerque Regional. What did you learn from that experience, and how can you maybe use what you learned from that experience and apply it to the upcoming regional at Stanford next week?
Yeah, the NCAA regionals, it's another level of play. Obviously, it's postseasons. It's the best in the country that qualifies to regionals and then moves on to nationals. The courses are set up a little bit tougher, a little bit longer. The rough is going to be a little bit thicker and the greens a little bit faster and firmer. And I think back from 2017, I mean, it's two different teams. Every year is a different team. And my current team has tons more experience, competitive experience. And I think experience also in pressure situations. And regionals is about how you handle the pressure at that time, right? And how you react to the course and play and so on. So I think back from 17, it was a first time for Cal Poly. We were there and my players got to experience and see what it was all about. And this time around, it's, yeah, we made it there. We earned our spot there. And now we're moving on. We're going to compete and work for that top 6 spot to make it to nationals.
Yeah, top 6 spot. There's a lot of good programs that have a rich history in collegiate women's golf that are going to be joining you. Again, Stanford Regional is going to be May 10th through the 12th. Sophie Agard, head coach of the 2021 Big West champion women's golf team, joining us here on the Mustang Insider. Now, let's talk a little bit more about that practice facility that you have there. It's the Mustang Golf Academy, officially opened up. They cut the ribbon there at Dairy Creek April 16th. $2 million facility, and Don Oberhelman's not overstating it when he says that this facility is one of a kind on the West Coast. You've seen other collegiate golf facilities. What makes this one so special? And I mean, it must feel surreal to finally be there and practice there and study there and have meetings there.
I mean, you see Mustang Golf Academy right behind me here. Who does not like this view?
And that's not a virtual background. That's real.
It is not a virtual background.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's a dream come true to have this in just less than 10 minutes from the dorms on campus. The access for our student athletes to come out and practice and play whenever. And then also then with this new addition of the building, our clubhouse, where we have the coaches' offices, a player lounge, locker rooms, and a hitting bay. It's really amazing. And like you're saying, on the West Coast, this is one of the best, absolutely one of the best. And the reasons for that is because of the acreage that we have behind us that we can use for practice every day. And then for this 2,400 square foot building that we can enjoy, the climate, of course, and the closeness to campus. I mean, there are very few places on the West Coast that have this. And in our conference, especially, we're at the very top. But we compete with other schools in the big the Power 5 conferences also when we talk about facilities with the addition of this.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned 2,400 square feet of floor space. It's spacious. It's a place not only for you to practice, but in the release talking about meetings and studying. I mean, you guys can really make this your home for your program. And that's really big when it comes to having success and consistently having a place to go in between weekends and whatnot when you get into conference play, and especially as you prepare for the postseason. Recruiting wise, this is going to set you guys apart, like you mentioned, from not only the Big West Conference, but now you're talking about maybe pitching to some recruits that are getting looks from Power 5 conferences as well, and certainly appealing with everything you just mentioned. How does that kind of set you guys apart? And you know, how do you envision that taking this golf program to the next level? I mentioned 2-time Big West champions in the last 4 years, but I know your aspirations go beyond just winning conference championships.
You know, it truly is an exciting time here at Cal Poly, of course, with the successes that we've had with the team, but then also with the addition of the academy, our Mustang Golf Academy, and our practice facility. And I mean, what would you say if you came here as a recruit and you had this backdrop?
I couldn't say no.
It's hard to say no, isn't it? Right. And of course, with a great academic institution that we're also under at Cal Poly, sky's the limit, right? We're shooting high up here, and what you were saying also with enjoying the building, and we've just seen in the last few weeks when we opened here, especially now that the classes are online, our student athletes can come out here and they take the classes online in the building, and then they take a study break and they go out and hit balls, and they have more of their student athlete lifestyle is really intertwined with this building, where they can spend most of their time on the day here.
We're only a few days away from your guys' departure up north to Stanford for that regional. What are some things you guys are working on in preparation for the postseason?
Yeah, as we're looking to regionals here at Stanford, we're looking at course management pieces, because we normally for our regionals, the courses are set tougher. We're anticipating the fairway to be a little bit more narrow and the holes to be longer, rough to be thicker. So
Yeah.
we have been practicing some of our longer shots, fairway woods off the fairways, which can be used both as approach shots for the longer par fours, but then also playing aggressively on par fives. We've also talked a lot about what the pressure might be like when you come there, the environment, the competitiveness around the other teams, and just the energy to be in this competitive bubble, which is going to be really, really exciting. So I think we're really excited to go up. I mean, we have another few days here of play and practice before we head north. So we'll be ready by the time we get there.
Obviously, you're familiar with that course up at Stanford. You played across the bay at Cal, and that's Stanford's arch rival. So this has to be a little extra special for you. I know your focus is solely on Cal Poly and getting this 2021 group deeper and deeper into the postseason. You won the Big West Championship at the Yorba Linda Country Club. How does that course, any similarities to that course and what you're going to see up there at Stanford, or maybe another course that your team has gone to this season?
That's a great question. Yorba Linda Country Club compared to Stanford. I think the greens might be fairly similar. The size of the greens, and they're small undulations. The length of the course is pretty similar to what we will see. And also there were some elevated holes where you're hitting uphill from the tee shot or downhill into the green. We'll see some of that at Stanford also. And yeah, I'm fairly familiar with Stanford, having played college golf up in the area. So I've competed at that course quite a bit. And I'm happy to say too that 4 out of my 5 players in the lineup have experience at the Stanford golf course. So they're also aware of what it is that we're walking into.
Sophie Agard, head coach of the 2021 Big West champion Cal Poly women's golf program, is our guest here on the Mustang Insider. Coach, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Congratulations on the conference championship. And I hope in a couple of weeks from now, we're still talking about your season continuing.
Yeah, would love to catch up after we make it over to nationals. So thank you so much.
Let's do it. Thanks so much, Coach.
All right, go Mustangs.
All right, so we put the finishing touches on another edition of the Mustang Insider. As always, we have to thank our partner, American Riviera Bank. Well, right now, if you open up a Cal Poly Mustang checking account, you get exclusive Cal Poly debit cards, Cal Poly checks. It's a no-brainer. Get on down to American Riviera Bank. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Mustang Insider, presented by Cal Portland.
This has been the Mustang Insider Show, presented by Cal Portland, with a commitment to environmental leadership that has made the organization stronger and is the primary choice of contractors. The Mustang Insider Show. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Cal Poly Sports Network.